Discoria here, guys. It's been quite a long time since my last video, but I'm back and I'd love to do a new video on Dragalia Lost. I'm going to talk about probably a lot of things today, things other than Dragalia Lost, give a little bit of background as to where I've been for the last little while, because it has been quite a hiatus since my last video. But I wanted to do a new video, and really it was Dragalia Lost that inspired me to want to get back to making videos, because I am having that much fun with this game. This game is that much fun that I felt that it would be great to do a new video, and I'd really like to go back to making some videos again on a more regular basis and not have the long hiatus that I had previously. I think the key to that is going to be setting a more realistic schedule. So maybe one or two videos a week instead of trying to do one every other day. But we'll get to that. So without further ado, let's jump into it. And we're going into Dragalia Lost. So this game came out, I think it's been out 3 months now. I think it's had its 3-month anniversary. So I've been playing all 3 months since it started. I started the very first day. Signed up, got all the bonus Wormite, logged in. It's been absolutely amazing. I've played it every day, so I haven't missed anything, so I can certainly give you a very detailed background as to how I've been enjoying the game, the different features of the game, where we started, where we've come from. I'm sure I'll miss things. There's people that are much more hardcore about these games than I am. I don't know everything about every setting or every perfect battle configuration. I'd like to say that I've gotten pretty decent at the battle configurations and understanding the stats and team compositions and things of that nature, understanding the higher end fights and some of the end content that are available. But I'll go into things as in depth as I can. I'm not an expert by any means, so I'll just say that up front. There's definitely going to be people who can go deeper than I can, though. I will go as deep as I can try and go. So this is the home screen for this game, and I think that the first video that I'm going to do for this is really, I'm not going to do any gameplay, firstly because I used all my stamina already early this morning before work, so I don't really have any stamina right now. You do need stamina to play this game, and it does run out, so as for most mobile games that I've played, competitive mobile games, there's a stamina feature, and it stops you from being able to play the game constantly. It's not a hindrance at all. They give away a lot of free stamina replenishing items. You can buy packs that replenish your stamina. So I mean, if you're free to play, I would say for free to play players, it's still great. Like I didn't feel pressure to buy the stamina refill pack. I bought it because I liked it so much. I wanted to play twice as much every day. But if you are free to play, you don't need to buy with real money a stamina replenishment pack. You can go your own pace, and they still give away quite a lot of stamina refresh items. They do these days. When they first started the game, they really didn't give away a lot of stamina refresh items, but I think as most of these games do, and I think as Fire Emblem Heroes did when they first started, it's pretty important for players to be able to play, and so they started giving away a stamina refresh item, and I'll get to what that looks like. But as you can see from the way that the home screen has been cycling, your main screen actually displays all the characters in these little 3D models, these little 3D chibi models, which, just as an aside, some of my favorite animation I've ever seen in a game is these 3D chibi models. I should have said to start with, this game has been produced, I think it's published by Nintendo, but produced and worked on by Cygames, and I didn't really know anything about Cygames until I started playing Dragalia Lost. I was attracted to it by the Nintendo prestige, as I'm sure a lot of people were. But Cygames, from everything I've learned, is a fantastic company, and they really take care of their players, and I'll get into that in a bit as to how they are taking care of their players and how they have in the past and what they've kind of said they're going to do going forward. But it's been this home screen. Sorry, getting back to what I was saying. You can see all the 3D sprites for the characters that you have. So you have it is a gacha game. So for anyone who doesn't know what gacha means, Gacha, it's a game where you actually roll. Like, you roll randomly. It's a random generator, and you'll roll for the characters that you use. This turns a lot of people off games, but I'd never played a gacha game before this, except for a little bit of Fire Emblem Heroes. Which I did like, and I was a little familiar with the gacha concept, but not like intimately familiar with it, and I learned a lot more about it when I started playing this game. The gacha feature, don't let it turn you off at all. You can finish this game with any of the free characters that are given in the story mode. And some of the free characters that are given in the story mode I've played with extensively, and they're a lot of fun to play with. They give free characters in more than just the story mode, too. You can get different leveled characters from the raids that they do by forging friendships and all kinds of things, and I will get to that in a little bit. I might have to do a multi-part video now that I'm thinking about this. We'll see how much I can cover in today's video. I really don't want it to go too much longer than a half hour, so we'll see how much stuff I can cover in a half hour, and we'll kind of go from there. That should be a long enough time to cover a lot of things. But so these characters, all the characters that you're seeing that are walking around, these are characters that I have pulled. They're characters that are in my collection. As I'm sure you, oh, sorry guys. You may have noticed or you may have not noticed that the same character pops up in every screen, because that's my main character, the character with the green ears and the blonde hair. He's called Orion. He's a dark type character. I'm actually maining him at this moment because I was using him for some of the missions that I was just previously working on. So essentially he's in every screen because he's a character that I'm maining right now. But if you main a different character, then that'll be the character that shows up. So where should I start to introduce players? Let's just go over all the features that are here, because this screen can look a little intimidating. Even this home screen looks a little intimidating for new players. So let's start with the top left-hand corner. So you can see the player level. So the player level in this case is level 92. So I am a level 92 player. I think the level cap right now for players is 150. I feel like I've seen a Japanese player at 150. That's crazy. That must have taken an insane amount of whaling and grinding. Definition of whaling: players that spend a lot of money in a game. It's not a negative. I don't find it to be a negative term at all, because those whales are the players that keep these games alive, so more power to them, to be honest. I would consider myself, I think, from what I've read, I'm considered a dolphin light spender. I've spent about, to date, probably $100 to $150 on the game. No regrets. We'll get into that in a bit, but whales usually, I think, are the people that are spending like thousands on these games to pull like super specific characters. But, I definitely wouldn't go that far myself. I don't need to spend that much money. I don't need the 5-star characters that badly, but I've been blessed with a pretty decent amount of luck. So all right, so let's get back to the player level. So I'm at level 92. One of the cool things that I liked about this when I first started is from level 1 to about level, I want to say maybe level 60. It might have even gone a little longer than that, but comfortably level 60. You're gaining levels so quickly that every time you gain a level, your stamina actually gets reset, and it'll add to the stamina max that you already have. You can see the little stamina bar next to my level. So I never ever ran out of stamina. I pretty much played this game constantly, nonstop, as much as I wanted until I hit level 60, because the stamina would reset every time I grew a level. It's the same thing with the wings. So if you look with the wings to the right, the wings, I don't know how else I would say that. I'm at 81. That's way more than I should be at. I use the stamina pack to refill, and I usually tried not to overdo it with the missions that required the wings, so I've always had a lot of wings stockpiled. But so your wings and your stamina reset when you grow a level. Now that I'm level 92, I only grow one level, like probably every 3 or 4, now coming up probably on like 5 days. So the stamina resets and the wing resets don't happen as often, so I'm a little more locked with stamina and wings, but it doesn't bother me or anything like that. So right underneath of the stamina bar, there's actually a bar that says Warmite. It doesn't say Warmite, but it's a little multicolored stone. It's blue and pink and yellow and green, and mine says 26,000. So that's called Warmite. Warmite is the free currency in this game that allows you to pull the gacha to draw for characters. So when you roll for new characters, you can spend Warmite, and that's the free currency that you can obtain in the game from completing stories, quests, different missions, different challenges, all kinds of things. They give it away for all kinds of reasons. And one of the things I will say up front is Cygames has been incredibly decent about dealing with their player base on mistakes, or dealing with their player base on good things too. And they've given away a huge amount of free Warmite since I started playing. I think I read on there's a Reddit for this game, which you should join if you plan on playing this a lot. I enjoy the Reddit. There's some pretty fun conversations on there. I've had some fun threads on there too. What was I saying? Oh wow, I really lose my subject. That's embarrassing. Wormite. I was talking about Wormite. Right, so I was talking about Wormite and the free Wormite they gave. There was a gentleman on Reddit who was posting, they're completely free to play, meaning that they played, like, a purist free to play means they literally never spend even the free currency on drawing new characters, and he hasn't spent any of the free currency yet. I think his stash was at like 56,000, almost 60,000. I can't quite remember. So his stash is huge. He's only playing with the free characters that you get from the stories and the raids, and he's doing amazing. His Halidom level is actually higher than mine. We will get to what a Halidom is in time, but like he's actually got like some higher stuff than me, and I've spent like a pretty decent amount of money on this game. So you definitely don't need to, like, you don't need to spend money to be good at this game or to get far in the game. So anyways, that's what the Wormite's for. It's the free currency for pulling. If you look to the immediate right, the little diamond, it's called Diamantium, and that's the paid currency for this game. So that's currency that I bought with real money. I purchased that currency to be able to do something called daily pulls, because I like to summon once a day, and you get daily discounted pulls for using the paid currency. I'll get to that in a bit more detail in a little bit, but that's what that bar is. If you look to the immediate right of that, I'm going to click it so you can actually see it. This is the goodie box. So this is where items that you win from missions and things are sent. There's a limited, there's a no limit, and there's a history, which actually shows you what you've pulled from the goodie box. So kind of self-explanatory. This little bar on the far left, where you can see the Miracle of Dragalia event concluded, it actually goes through all the events and the kind of the promotions that are going on right now. So I'll start at the first one, the Miracle of Dragalia. That's not the first one. First one is New Year's Tidings, Fortune from Afar. So this is the new event that's coming out for New Year's. Great time to start the game. I think it's going to be a really cool banner from what I can tell. I've liked all the banners, so I'm pretty biased, but it looks like a very cool banner. I'll be pulling on it for sure. And so if you scroll to the right, you can see the Miracle of Dragalia. That's the event that we just had for Christmas. It was awesome. I had a huge amount of fun. The limited units were cute. It was fun. I can talk about that in more detail when I show some of my units that I have, but I really, really enjoyed the game. It was pretty fantastic. Welcome pack. Oh yeah, they're talking about, okay, so I bought one of the welcome packs originally, and I think they just made it so you can actually buy a second one, because it was a limited purchase where you could only buy one ever, and they added a second one, so if you want to, you can buy a second welcome pack. I won't be doing that, because my odds of pulling a dupe adventurer at this point are way too high, and I really don't want 3,000 Eldwater. That would make me a sad panda, so I'm probably not going to buy the second welcome pack. Special, what is this? There's a little button here that says special. Oh yeah, okay, so this is stamina depletion reduced. So they're having an event right now where you can run a bunch of events for only half stamina, so each events cost half as much stamina to run, so you can run twice as many events. Makes sense, right? It's actually pretty great because you can pull all kinds of resources and things like that in more in higher volumes and play more without having to pause in between. They want people to get their teams ready for the upcoming raid. The New Year's raid is a light type raid, which means that you use dark type characters against the light type boss to kind of have an advantage. So we're all busy preparing our dark type teams to be able to kind of beat the upcoming raid. So I'm pretty excited about that, and as I'm sure everybody from what I've read on the Reddit, is also extremely excited that we're finally getting an event that calls for dark type teams, because I think a lot of people had been prepping dark type teams for like the last two events, and they always surprised us with different type events. So I'm excited for those people that they finally get to play their dark type teams, and I'm excited to get to play some of my dark type players. All right, so going down this bubble, the bubble with the exclamation mark, if you click that, this is the notices. So you can actually go through and see all the most recent notices for in-game. I'm not going to click on everyone. There's so much information. I love this little thing. I'm always looking for new news. Makes me excited when they publish new news, because that means new events, and that makes me a happy panda. So yeah, that's what that's for. The middle button is the Endeavors button. So these are the missions you need to accomplish to get rewards, and you can get rewards like Wormite, which is multicolored stones, or Eldwater. Eldwater is a strategic part of the game, and that's that teardrop-looking resource underneath the Warmite. It's a strategic resource to be able to upgrade your character's strength for battles. I'm not going to go into too much depth because I think I'm actually going to do a separate video on building teams for battle now that I'm kind of thinking about this. I'll probably just do, this is kind of an overview of the game for now. But yeah, so this screen is where you can get rewards for completing very specific missions. This button I'm not going to click to the right because it'll take me there, but that button to the far right is the shop button. That's where you can go to click and purchase packs and diamantium and other things that you can use to benefit your gameplay. To the right is the join co-op button. I have never used this button to join co-op ever, because when you click it, like, it allows you to kind of find a room, enter an ID. Actually, that's not true. I used it a couple times to enter an ID to find private rooms from the Discord when I was taking on very, very high-end fights. But other than that, when I'm looking for just general fighting, I don't use this. Because when you click find a room, it actually, all the rooms are always full before you can join them. So there's a better way to join co-op, which I'll show you when we get to that. Events is self-explanatory. You can click it. I shouldn't have clicked it because now it's going to take me to events, but it just takes you to all the different mission events that are currently available. Let's go back to the home bar here. New quests daily, again, not going to click that, but it basically resets the same quests that you do every day. Some of them are on rotation. Some of them are there every single day. They give you resources. They give you items that you need to upgrade different things, so you can click that to go there. Quests are for the story mode. One thing I'll say about this game is I'm absolutely really, really enjoying the story mode. I feel like the story is, sometimes it can be a bit cliche, but the characters are fun, they're cute, they're well designed, they're well drawn, and it's not all a cliche. I've been surprised by a couple things that have happened, and that's pretty good writing for a mobile game. So I've been impressed by the story. It's been a lot of fun. I've beat the story all the way through on normal, and there's also a hard mode, which I've beat somewhat all the way through, but I'm always using my stamina and wings on, like, other missions, so I've actually not got through the story mode on the hard mode, even though I definitely have teams strong enough to take it on. Okay, so that's basically the whole home screen, except for the buttons on the bottom, obviously. Home button, self-explanatory. It brings you back to everything we just talked about. Upgrade is with regards to basically anything you can upgrade in the game, including adventurers, weapons. There's a pretty robust weapon system. You can upgrade your dragons. Dragons, you say? Discoria? What do you mean you can upgrade your dragons? I will get to that. One of the coolest parts of this game are your dragons. So, yeah, we're going to get to that in more detail. Teams, that's basically where your characters all are. So that's your roster of characters. You can view all the characters that you've pulled and what you have equipped on them and the teams that you've constructed in each element type. You can also see your collection of dragons, and you can also see your collection of what we call worm prints, the bane of some people's existence, unfortunately. So I will go to that in more detail at some point to give you guys a better idea of what's included under each that. The castle refers to the Halidom. I used that word earlier. The Halidom is our castle. It's the name of our castle. It's the name of our area. You can actually build your castle, and you can construct all different kinds of buildings and shrines and dojos and all kinds of things. I could spend a half hour easy just talking about that. And I'll give it its own episode, for sure, where we talk about the Halidom and what you can do with it and what each building is good for and, things along that line. But that's where that is. It also allows you to go to your dragon roost, which allows you to give special gifts to your dragons that allow them to build up a bond. And you can get a lot of bonuses from building the bonds with your dragons. Again, I'm going to cover that in a separate video, I think. But it's very cool. The summon button is what anyone would expect. The summon button is where you go to roll the gacha. So it's where you go to spend your Wormite or your Diamantium, and there's different kinds of pulls you can do, single pull, 10 pull, or the discounted daily pull. I've done all different kinds of pulls just to get different kinds of characters, and I've had really good luck. I've been very lucky. So we'll go over that when we go kind of take a look at my collection. But yeah, that's the summon area. We'll take a look at that in more detail as well at another time. The More button gives you all different kinds of options. There's player info, help support, other options, friends, items. One of the cool things that I like is that you can actually change something called an epithet. So if you look at the top of the screen, my character name is Discoria, obviously, but above that you can see it says Dragalia Saint. I got that title from completing a really difficult, well, yeah, it was pretty difficult. I found it to be very difficult. I'm sure some people thought it was easy, but it wasn't for me. It was a difficult challenge battle that was for the Christmas event, limited Christmas event, so I was able to beat the challenge battle in a certain amount of time, and that gave me that title. And so it's just, I've got a bunch of titles now. I've probably got like 20 or 30 different titles, and you get rarer ones from harder events, and I like it. It's just a way to kind of customize your name and character even further. So that's pretty cool. I enjoy that quite a lot. Okay, so like that's really the home screen, and I'm looking at the time, and like it's already taken me 20 minutes just to talk about the home screen and the different features available. So I think what I'd like to do is I'm going to leave this video there, and then I'm going to do a different video where I talk in more depth about kind of the upgrade button, the Halidom, summoning, the castle, and then that way I can give each different section its kind of deserved attention. So that's it for now. Talking about Dragalia Lost is really exciting because I've been really enjoying this game, and it's really making me want to produce more videos so I can share my content with my viewers and kind of have more of a discourse about this game and other games like it. And work is still extremely busy, so I can only do these videos when I do have time, but I'm going to try and do at least one video a week where we can kind of touch base and we can go over some cool, exciting things. And I'd like to do at least one video a week on Dragalia Lost, but maybe I might do some other side videos as well, because there's other games that I'm enjoying. I don't just play mobile games, as I'm sure my followers are aware. I also play PS4. I've got a Nintendo Switch that I write game reviews for the Nintendo channel. I have a 3DS. I've got a lot of systems. I'm playing a lot of games kind of simultaneously. So I do want to talk about those games as well. So you'll see some videos interspersed here and there of, Dragalia Lost, but also other games that I'm playing. So I'll leave it there for now. Thanks for checking back in with me, and hopefully I'll have more regular videos for you guys. Hope you enjoyed this one, and talk again soon. Thanks.